Welcome to Affair Root Cause and Fix, episode number 9. And this is identifying the affair's root cause. Now again, if you've been victim of an affair, be sure to seek professional help because it's definitely worth it. And with that being said, I'm going to remind everyone, if you haven't subscribed, be sure to do so and ring that bell icon to be notified whenever I post another video. If you found this video, this is episode 9 of the series, so you probably want to start at the beginning. And if you found this, you're probably searching because you're either dealing with an affair right now or you're trying to figure out what to do and this, that, and the other. So I'm just sharing these videos for entertainment purposes only, but hopefully they can be an uplifting experience. But let's talk about identifying the root cause of the affair. Now, obviously, this is something that will be different for everyone, and there's different types of affairs. There's different triggers. This particular situation, and I came to this conclusion based upon the timeline of events and all of the forensic data that I assembled from my wife's cell phone, from her iPhone. But what I gathered is that this particular work trip was a situation where she felt that she was in a bubble. She was with a colleague, but it's a work colleague that she seldom does any sort of business with. And what was unique about this situation is that it was only the two of them, so they felt like they were out of state, they were in a bubble, and her colleague was just a whore. I mean, I hate to say it. I mean, she's just a dirty whore, and that influence, combined with the open bars and late night free parties at this convention, that led my wife into a series of bad and potentially irreversible decisions. So that was, I will say, the root cause was, number 1, her colleague's influence, number 2, the overconsumption of alcohol, and number 3, the sleaziness of this individual that approached my wife and initiated the affair. So there's 3 elements there. And looking back, with this being what I've determined to be the root cause for this affair, looking back, it made me curious. Well, again, statistically, it would seem to be highly improbable that I would have only captured the only affair that had occurred. But at least within the past few years of data that I analyzed from the cell phone, if there were other events that had occurred, they weren't communicated by way of text message or phone calls, and that was something else that I was very that I proactively did. I looked at all the call records because I wanted to make sure that there weren't frequent late night calls to unknown numbers, this, that, and the other. And that was an easy process because basically, if you look at a cell phone's contact list, you can identify known contacts and then just separate the outliers. So had there been one that was a frequently occurring off-hours phone call or text messages, then that would have been potential reason for alarm. But I feel confident. I say confident. I feel my confidence level is probably about a 6 out of 10 that I've captured everything. But I also captured the planning between my wife and this work colleague for the upcoming work trip, which was scheduled a few months after this one where the affair occurred. So they were already talking back and forth about how they were excited about that, and they hoped this same guy was going to be there, and this, that, and the other. So they were planning that. So I knew that I knew a few things. I knew that I felt fairly confident that I'd identified the root cause, but I knew that if I didn't, act quickly and and figure out a solution to prevent this next show from occurring. Excuse me, from occurring. That something bad probably would go down, and it was a bad situation. So had to put a lot of thought into that, and that's the topic for the next video in the series. So this concludes video episode number 9. Subscribe, ring that bell, and stay tuned for episode 10, where I'll talk about how, after identifying what I was about a 6 out of 10 on confidence level as being the root cause, I knew that I had to put a stop to the future things. So I'll explain to you how I did that within the next video. Oh, and expand this video's description, and you can find the book, my Affair Root Cause and Fix book. There's a link there, and also you can just go to Amazon and search for Affair Root Cause and Fix and find my book there.